Well, good morning. Welcome to a series where we're going through the second book of Peter, verse by verse, to really get a better example of the demonic things that are around us, that infiltrate the church, that infiltrate your lives, and try to deter you from advancing the kingdom of heaven here on earth, but also trying to advance you to hell. And he gives several examples of that, primarily the example of those who infiltrate the church speaking flattering words, like they look right, they sound right, they seem to be saying the right thing, but they're leading you to hell in a church. And then he's also gives the example of those scoffers who say, well, where is he? Like nothing has changed. You know, you said he's been coming. Where is he? He's not coming. But then Peter immediately goes into this dialogue of saying that, beloved, do not forget this one thing, that with the Lord, one day is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day. The Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as some count slackness, but is long-suffering towards us, not willing that any should perish, that all should come to repentance. So he's saying it's all in God's time. And to him, a day is of 1,000 years. So when he did creation and rested on the seventh day, that's still his plan with this earth. You work for 6,000 years and you rest it for 1,000, and that's where we're at. And with Jesus Christ, from Adam to now has been 6,000 years. And now he will come and reign for 1,000 years. So just because people are saying it's not happening, or maybe science points towards something else, or scientists are saying, oh, but no, it's this other thing, or people are saying, well, you've been saying this, people long ago been saying this. You know, when I started the End of Time series, I don't know how many messages I got, thousands, saying, you know, people been saying the end is coming forever. What makes you so sure? And it's funny because you see that and you're like, whoa, Peter said it would be like that. So anyhow, we're just going to pick it up right there. 2 Peter 3, starting verse 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens will pass away with a great noise, and the elements will melt with fervent heat. Both the earth and the works that are in it will be burned up. Therefore, since all things will be dissolved, what manner of person ought you to be in holy conduct and godliness, looking for and hastening the coming of the day of God, because of which the heavens will be dissolved, being on fire, and the elements will melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for the new heavens and the new earth, in which righteousness dwells. Now, this is really beautiful, because here we can just tie this straight to Revelation. What he's ultimately saying here is that the Lord will come as a thief in the night, like he said he would. But he also told us in the prior verses that we are to know the seasons. So that's really kind of a thing that a lot of people struggle with, is this idea that we're not supposed to know the time, but we are to know the season. You know, if winter comes, I know winter's here. I don't necessarily know the day that the first snowfall will hit or the first ice rain, but I do know it's coming, and I know that the season for that thing is actually here. So what he's saying is that he comes with like a thief in the night, and all these people who are like, where is he? He's not coming. Well, it's the perfect timing, because like we said the last episode, that all should be led to repentance. Is it's about people. God is trying to get all those people in there that he can. It's about saving humanity. That's what all this is about. It's about bringing the kingdom of heaven to earth, just like it is in heaven. But the interesting thing that Peter gets in here is he talks about the decreation of the heavens and the earth, and then the creation of the new heaven and the new earth, which, of course, we get more detail in Revelation. And I'm going to put the link for that series. If you haven't watched that series, we're almost done, and it's good stuff. But he says this, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens will pass away with great noise, and the elements will melt with fervent heat. Both the earth and the works that are in it will be burned up. Now, this is pretty interesting, because if you go to Revelation, when he talks about this moment in time, it says in Revelation 21, verse 1, and I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away. Also, there was no more sea. So if you compare that to what Peter's talking about here, we just say, we saw it just faded away. Well, how's it fade away? Well, apparently it dissolves and it melts in fire and fervent heat. That's fascinating. So the universe, heaven, the universe, earth, everything that we are aware of and everything we don't know about is just gone. All of it gone suddenly, and in Revelation it just says it fades away. And we don't really, but then here comes this new heaven and the new earth and the new Jerusalem. But what does fade away actually mean? Well, apparently what it means is that heavens will pass away with a great noise and the elements will melt with fervent heat. Both the earth and the works that are in it will be burned up. Therefore, since all these things will be dissolved, what manner of person ought you to be in holy conduct and godliness, looking for and hastening the coming of the day of God, because of which the heavens will be dissolved, being on fire, and the elements will melt with fervent heat. So here what you have is you have the earth and heaven and the universe dissolving and melting into nothing. A fire so hot that even the metals, because like when you burn wood, the ash that's left over, that's the metal, and the wood, that's what's left over. It doesn't burn. This is so hot, nothing. There won't be anything left over. That's the kind of fire that God is going to put in, like a white flame, like something so hot, nothing remains. But it's not. The point that Peter's trying to make here is it's not that, oh, look what's going to happen to heaven and look what's happened to earth. That's not what he's trying to say. What he's saying is because that is happening, that what manner of person ought you to be in holy conduct and godliness, looking for and hastening the coming of the day of God, because of which the heavens will be dissolved, being on fire, and the elements will melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we, according to the promise, look for new heavens and the new earth in which righteousness dwells. And of course, if you haven't been following the End of Time series, like that's what we're literally talking about right now, is what this new heaven looks like. But it's where righteousness dwells. All that's allowed in there is those written in the Lamb's Book of Life. And it says in Revelation 21:27, but there shall be by no means enter it anything that defiles or causes an abomination or a lie, but only those who are written in the Lamb's Book of Life. So what Peter's saying here is really that, just don't listen to the scoffers. It's about God's time. That's what it's all about. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens will pass away with great noise, and the elements will melt with fervent heat. Both the earth and the works that are in it will be burned up. Therefore, since all these things will be dissolved, what manner of persons ought you to be in holy conduct and godliness, looking for and hastening the coming of the day of God, because of which the heavens will be dissolved, being on fire, and the elements will melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth in which righteousness dwells. And that's really what it's all about. So there you go. Keep joining us. I think we got one more episode left. Any thoughts or insight, definitely put that below. If you like this video, click like and subscribe. Feel called to support this channel. The Patreon link is also below. But the most important part of the channel, we take prayer requests. So never hesitate to send that in. Thank you for watching this episode of God, Family, and Guns. And as always, love God, love your family, and love guns.